Woot.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, people. So, you're gonna read? Z?
And I'm gonna read the good side.
Okay.
Oh, do the adult side. Your best friend.
What's is that?
It's Mom.
Oh.
I am your best friend as well as your king. Walk hand in hand with me through your life. Together we will face whatever each day brings. Pleasures, hardships, adventures, disappointments. Nothing is wasted when it's shared with me. I can bring beauty out of the ashes of lost dreams. I can glean joy out of sorrow, peace out of adversity. Only a friend who is also the King of Kings can accomplish this divine alchemy. There is no other like me. The friendship I offer you is practical and down to earth, yet it is saturated with heavenly glory. Living in my presence means living in two realms simultaneously.
Simultaneously.
The visible world is an unseen, eternal reality. I have equipped you to stay conscious of me while walking along dusty, earthbound paths. Read together. Greater love has no one than this, that he lie down his life for his friends. You are my friends. If you do what I command, I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends, for everything that I learned from my Father I have made known to you. John chapter 15, verse 13 through 15. Yeah, it's your turn to read this kid side. No other friend like me. I am your best friend, and I'm your king. My friendship is particular and down to the earth. As your friend, I am always here to listen and help. Together, we will face whatever each day brings. Pleasures, hardships, adventures, disappointments. As your heavenly king, our friendship opens so many possibilities as a king. I can create something wonderful out of the ashes of lost dreams. Joy out of sorrow and peace out of problems. And it's all because I love you. My love for you is so great that I gave up heaven to come to earth as a helpless baby. It's so great that I lived in the dust and sin of this world, and it's so great that I died on the cross.
Go. Hurry. Go to the bathroom, dude. Okay.
There is no other friend like me. Talk together. What makes a good friend? What makes a good friend? What makes Jesus your very best friend? What are the things you can do to be a better friend, or not to the people in your life, but also to Jesus? This match is so weird.
No.
I moved the cup and it made a really weird noise and it made them lose their minds.
Yeah, they're crazy.
And now he has a bloody nose from laughing. I don't know how that works.
I think you left so.
What makes a good friend?
Someone who listens. and understands.
Okay.
Someone who calls you out.
Someone
Okay.
who would watch your back.
Okay.
Someone who sticks through the times. Through tough times.
All right.
Someone who would come or talk to someone you can talk to if you're having a bad day.
Someone.
It could be some people.
Okay. And
Are you okay? That was a nasty thing.
what
Shut the light
about
off.
why is Jesus the perfect friend?
He's not. Well, he's the perfect one because he will always stay there with us and will never leave.
Right. So no matter how bad things get, Jesus is always there. And he's always there when things feel good, right?
Yes.
Can I now share the thing that I was going to share?
What? Out of
The,
that?
1 Corinthians 10:30.
Yeah.
Therefore,
Go for it.
eat, drink,
Alright,
whatever
this
you
is from
enjoy.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. Therefore, I eat or drink or whatsoever I do it all to the glory of God.
It's a good verse.
And this is actually right past John.
Yes. It's in the New Testament.
The Acts come,
Acts, Romans,
then Romans, and then it goes Corinthians.
first and then second.
First and then second, and then it goes like something before Revelation, right?
Thessalonians. So here. Who's gonna read tonight, or should I just start?
Me.
Just waiting for Dad.
Around 7.
7?
Chapter.
Yeah, we're on chapter 7. We read chapter 6 last week.
And the people Kyrgyz room came down and came down. No. Came and took up the ark of the Lord and brought it to the house of Abandon. Abandoned.
Benadab.
Abinadab.
Abinadab. On the hill, they constructed,
No. Secreted.
secreted his son, Eliezer, to have charge of the ark of the Lord. From that day, the ark was lodged at Kyrgyz.
Kyrgyz.
Kyrgyz Jerim.
Kyrgyz. A long time passed, some 20 years, in the house of Israel, lamented after the Lord of
Lamented.
God.
Lament.
Moment. Doesn't say lamented.
Lamented.
Where did it? Yeah, lamented.
Lamented after the Lord. After the Lord. Samuel as judge. Then Samuel said to all the house of Israel, if you are returning to the Lord with all your heart, then put away the foreign gods and the artists,
Gods and Ashtaroth.
Yeah.
Ashtaroth from among you.
That doesn't say that.
And it says Addersees in there. From among you. Just right here.
From among you, direct your heart to the Lord and serve him only, as he will deliver you out of the hand of Philistines. So Israel bows.
Where are you?
verse 4.
Yeah, Baals. Baal. Baal. Yes. I can't think of the word right now.
It says balling for me.
They're Baals and Astaroths, and serve the Lord only. So you can start right here.
Samuel said, gather all Israel at Memphis,
Mizpah.
Mizpah, and I will pray to the Lord for you. So they gathered at Mizpah and drew water and poured it out before the Lord. They fasted that day and said, we have sinned against the Lord. As Samuel judged the people of Israel at Mavasaph,
Is at Mizpah.
Mizpah, when the Philistines heard that the people of Israel had gathered at Mizpah, the lords of the Philistines went up against Israel. And then the people of Israel heard of it. They were afraid of the Philistines. The people of Israel said to Samuel, do not cease to cry out to the Lord our God for us, and pray that we may be saved from the hand of Philistines. So Samuel took a suckling lamb and offered as its whole burnt offering to the Lord. Samuel cried out to the Lord for Israel, and the Lord answered him. Samuel was offering up the burnt offering. The Philistines drew near to attack Israel, but the Lord thundered with a mighty voice that day against the Philistines, threw them into confusion, and they were routed before Israel. And the men of Israel went out Mizpah and pursued to the Philistines and struck them down as far beyond Bethkar. Then Samuel took a stone, set it up between Mizpah and Johanna, and named it Ebenezer. For he said, thus far the Lord he has helped us. So the Philistines were subdued and did not enter the territory of Israel. The hand of the Lord it was against the Philistines. All the days of Samuel, the towns of that the Philistines had taken Israel were restored to Israel, from Ekron to Gath. And Israel recovered their territory from the hand of the Philistines. There were peace between Israel and Amorites
And the Amorites.
Samuel judged Israel all days of his life. When he went on to conduct year by year to Bethlehem, Gilgal, and Mizpah, and he judged Israel all these places. Then he would come back to Ramham.
Just one.
Ramah, for his home was there. He administered justice to Israel. And built there an altar to the Lord.
Okay, so what was in that chapter?
Stuff about the
How
Samuel.
Samuel helped his own people after the Lord didn't notice that the Ark of the Covenant was in Israel. He still thought it was in Philistine territory.
I don't think that was.
Or the Philistines
The
basically.
Israelites forgot that the covenant was in Israel. What I understand. It was a long time, 20 years in all, that the ark remained in Kirith Jearim, and all people of Israel mourned and sought after the Lord. They didn't know it was there.
Did it normally?
I would like to use a different Bible.
She was gonna read. She wanted to read.
She's gonna read tonight.
What
If
you
she's
want
not
to
gonna read, I'll read because she read last night. I didn't read last
read? I don't want you to read. I want to read.
Rock, paper, scissors.
night. See?
I'll read again.
Oh,
I'll read again.
I want to read.
Yeah, that's some good interesting.
I'll read a little bit. 1 Samuel chapter 8. Samuel became old. He became his son's judge over Israel. The name of his firstborn son was Joel. The name of his second was Abijah. They were judges in Beersheba. Yet his sons did not walk in his ways, but turned aside after gain. They took bribes and perverted justice. Then all the elders of Israel gathered together and came to Samuel at Ramah and said to him, "Behold, you are old, and your sons do not walk in your ways. Now appoint us a king to judge us like all the nations." But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, "Give us a king to judge us." When Samuel prayed to the Lord said to Samuel, "Obey the voice of the people in all that they say to you, for they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me from being king over them, according to all the deeds they have done from the day I brought them up out of Egypt, even to this day, forsaking me and serving other gods, so they are also doing to you. Now then, obey their voice, only you shall solemnly warn them and show them the ways of the king who shall reign over them." So
His sons were basically doing the same thing that Eli's sons were.
right. His sons were corrupt, and because of that, they hadn't turned their ways away from, or turned away from Samuel's judgment, but
They
God.
turned away God.
They turned away God, but they did not turn away Samuel. So God said, "Listen to the people, we'll give them a king."
I don't want to read out of my Bible because it's confusing.
Why don't you read out of Kansas then?
Verse 10 right
Alright. So Samuel reported all of the words of the Lord to the people who were asking him for a king. He said, "These will be the ways of the king who will reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them to his chariots and to be his horsemen and to run before his chariots. And he will appoint himself commanders of thousands and will and commanders of 50, and some to plow his ground and to reap his harvest, and to make his implements of war and the equipment of his chariots. He will take your daughters to be perfumes and cooks and bakers. He will take the best of your fields and vineyards and olive orchards and give them to his courtiers. And he will take 1/10 of your grain and of your vineyards and give it to his officers and his courtiers. He will take your male and female slaves and the best of your cattle and donkeys and put them to his work. Then he will take 1/10 of your flocks, and you shall be his slaves, and that the day you will cry out because of your king, whom you have chosen for yourselves, but the Lord will not answer you in that day. Were fulfilled that day. But the people refused to listen to the voice of Samuel. They said, "No, but we are determined to have a king over us, so that we may also be like other nations, and that our king may govern us and go out before us and fight our battles." When Samuel had heard all the words of the people, he repeated to them in the ears of the Lord. The Lord said to Samuel, "Listen to their voice and set a king over them." Then Samuel said to the people of Israel, each of you return to your home."
So that one, Samuel did what?
Try to tell the people.
Tried to tell the people,
Can she explain?
yes,
He tried to explain to the people of Israel that the Lord spoke to him and said, "Give them what they want," and they refused him.
What did he do to try and explain?
He tried listening to people.
He tried listening to the people of Israel, and
He
tried.
explained to the people what a king would actually do.
and
He would take 1/10 of pretty much everything they own for himself and his courtiers and his attendants and all of his higher ups,
and
and nobody would be equal.
I figured another thing out. He said, "One of my 2 sons will rule over you," in that passage somewhere.
No. He said, "You'll take your daughters."
No, not
No,
there.
no, before that.
It was
I don't think he said that. In the Bible I have, it says
You'll take.
Samuel told all the words of the Lord to the people who were asking him for a king. And this is what a king will do. He will take your sons and make them serve with his chariots and his horses. They will run in front of his chariots. He will assign to be commanders of thousands and commanders of 50s, and others will plow his ground and reap his harvest, and others will make his weapons and his equipment for his chariots. Then he'll take your daughters and make them perfumers and bakers and cooks. And then he'll take the best of your fields and your vineyards and your olives. And he basically pointed out that as a king being appointed over them, he would be taking stuff.
Instead of giving stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, still kind of giving stuff.
I mean, in some cases, a king would work. And the only reason why they wanted a king is they wanted to be like every other nation in that case. And they still don't know that the ark is there.
Ark of the Covenant.
But just the Lord and God knows.
Okay.
But
It says swear word in my Bible.
yeah, you're,
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that.
huh?
Yes, swear word in his Bible.
So what did we learn about that chapter?
That
Samuel was being begged for.
Ethan. The girls need to talk
I'm never gonna be
to.
able to talk. So
You get to talk.
You always answer first.
It's not a big deal. Mackenzie started talking before you, okay?
And then Akira started talking.
And then Akira started talking. Mackenzie, what did we learn?
People were trying to get Samuel to get a king for their area to be like the other nations.
Okay. Kira?
He listened to his people. He was listening to his people and how they disagree and stuff. They were trying to listen to all of them with their disagreements.
And he was trying to just dissuade him, right? You
Isn't
tried.
that just persuading but opposite?
Yes.
You could just say persuade them to
wanna
think
say
the opposite.
What do you need to say, Ethan?
So, one thing that I got is it's kind of like a little bit of peer pressure. They want to look cool for the other nations,
That's the way to look at it.
and
They want to be
like
like everybody else.
they want to be like the cool
They
kids.
want everything to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
That also goes back into a devotional page that we had a few days ago, or about a week ago. It had something about, have you ever done something that made you look cool? Have you ever done something that made you that made people like you?
Oh. Yeah, I remember
Yep.
that.
People pleasers. Have you ever done something to make people like you, even if you knew it was wrong? It did it to make everyone like you.
Yeah, that's a very good example of that.
And the read together part, you want to read that?
And without faith, it was impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6.
So in that chapter we just read, do the people believe in God? You don't think so?
They're basically turning him away, looking for a king to rule over them, even though they have someone ruling
God
over them.
had said to Samuel, they
They no longer believe.
Yes.
So he said, "Give the people what they want,"
Yeah.
Why do you think they don't believe in him anymore?
because he hasn't put as much out as more than
Because he was
people asked.
Well,
Huh.
up until the Philistines took the ark, that was their physical connection, right?
Yeah.
But now their physical connection's gone.
So they think that
I have a
God
Bible
is no longer
version in the
there.
beginning of my
Mhm.
Bible. Can I say it again?
This children's
Can
time,
I wanna say it.
this yes,
Mm,
today was the how a blind man in an alleyway looking for Jesus's attention. He was making a bunch of noise, so she had us grab an instrument out of the instrument box and stand up there
Oh.
and make noise.
okay.
We made a bunch of noise, and she said stop. I put mine down back in the box, and she asked us to do it one more time, and then she said stop, and then he just put it more in.
Okay.
Okay. So what was that trying to show you?
It was trying to show us that he was always there, and he was trying to listen to everybody at once, and all the people were saying, "Shh, you're not good for him. You should stay over there. Don't come out." And then Jesus said, "Let him come to me."
Yeah.
And the people let him go. To God, Jesus, no, Jesus. And when he went, he tossed away his coat and he followed Jesus everywhere, basically.
So what is the whole? What's this? So it's a story about a blind man in an alleyway, and he's thinking he has to make a bunch of noise just to get God's attention, right?
Jesus.
Or Jesus will get attention, right? Did he need to?
No, but he did it anyways just to get his attention. And all the people around were like, they're like, shh. You're just somebody on the side of the road. You don't deserve to speak with him. And I was just listening closely, and I'm like, these people are rude.
Yeah. People judge you like.
Cause I'm always
They-
on
they-
the side and
people-
stuff.
Want to believe you have to be perfect.
She just doesn't like people judging each other.
And when he said, "Let him come to me," they all went in the alleyway and commanded him to get up. And he tossed away his coat because he didn't want to look like an old person on the road. So he tossed it away. And so he went, but the people that were telling him shh and stuff like that, they weren't really nice people.
That blind man believes in Jesus.
He does. He heard gossip all around the city about him. Like, people come past the alleyway and he would be listening really closely to them.
Okay.
That means he has great hearing.
Yeah.
Well, when people are blind or even deaf, their other senses
Are strong.
become stronger. So a blind person is going to have
insane hearing.
exceptional hearing, smelling, tasting, and they'll be able to feel things that we probably wouldn't even perceive. So I'm not surprised he could hear a lot of stuff.
Can I say the verse that's in the beginning of my Bible?
Okay.
And I say to you, ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find it. Knock and it shall be opened to you.
Okay. What's the verse?
It's from Luke chapter 11, verses 9.
Verse.
Verse 9.
Yeah. You said the verse, you said the scripture. Didn't read what verse it was. Leave a lot of people confused. Where is that?
We don't need to go over the 10 commandments because there's a bad word in it.
He keeps flipping to yes. Okay.
It's another word for
Donkey.
Okay.
It doesn't mean
There.
body.
There.
Okay.
There.
You don't need to. She doesn't.
Okay. Settle down.
Put her down. She meowed.
She's sitting here.
Oh, we're not fighting over a cat. He's putting her on the ground.
She was sitting right there.
Who's
Okay.
gonna lead off the prayer? It's gonna be Dad, Hero, Kinsey, Sebastian, Mom.
You.
I don't want to.
Why?
I'm always embarrassed.
Why are you embarrassed?
Yeah. This is a good way to practice for next week.
Next week I'm doing the prayers of people.
Yeah. And this
I
is
don't know.
And we're alternating. So tomorrow, Mom, eating a message or an image about the prayers of
Okay.
people.
Okay.
And to do.
So we're gonna have to. So you guys want me to pray?
As usual, thank you.
Alright.
What? You want to?
Mhm.
If
Okay.
you want to pray, you can pray, honey.
How do I start it off?
However you want.
However you want.
Talk to God.
If you want, you can turn away so we're not looking at you.
You can
can bow your
say
head.
his name and then just start it off.
Almighty Lord, thank you for us to sit at a table. Thank you for us to be a loving family. Thank you for letting us eat, have some wealth in our bodies, making sure we have stuff done and stuff like that. Making sure we eat, that's a good part of it. And also making sure we have energy in our bodies for the next day.
Right now.
One.
And if anything, making sure that when we have energy, we have it.
Keep going, Sissy.
Just keep going.
To make sure that we have enough energy if we have gym, music, to make sure that energy stays in our body. Making sure also to make sure
We're healthy.
we're healthy and to make sure all the kids in every school stay safe. To make sure
Well,
to make sure that when we get to school that
stop.
Yes, you're super sorry.
Ethan, put your head down.
Okay, continue your prayer. You're doing great.
to make sure the teachers can grade everything, and also to have a good day. And in other words, people said, Amen.
Amen.
Man.
Yes, the fart didn't be that funny. Okay. Yes, you farted before you started.
No, the first time was my cup.
Yeah, Mom, move her cup and you go.
I said mention the fart.
You guys
I didn't
okay?
even hear it.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Bye.